Have you ever noticed how some of the world's most successful entrepreneurs and leaders see reality in a fundamentally different way? When they talk, it's almost as if they're speaking a different language. In an interview, Elon Musk describes his understanding of cause and effect this way. I look at the future from the standpoint of probabilities. It's like a branching stream of probabilities, and there are actions that we can take that affect those probabilities or that accelerate one thing or slow down another thing. I may introduce something new to the probability stream. Those of you who follow this channel regularly know that we love this way of approaching life because it is very rational and leaves no room for ambiguity to cling to. Think about it for a moment. If we humans were computers, our brains would be the most important software installed inside us, and it would be up to us to test it every day and update it constantly. Subconsciously, many of us agree with this approach, but who really seeks to continuously add new knowledge and make continuous improvements to what they already know? In this video we will see how particularly intelligent people think, and I will then focus on talking about mental models, explaining with practical examples how each of you can use these mental models to potentially create something unique and special, be it a product, a service, and so on. After watching this video, if you liked it, I kindly ask you to like and share it with friends to whom you think it might be useful. Thank you very much, and let's get on with it. Billionaire Charlie Munger uses a cognitive bias checklist before making investment decisions to make sure he's applying mental models correctly, which I'll talk about in more detail in a few minutes. We all have biases that we carry with us. It is important to make sure that these do not influence our decisions. Jeff Bezos thinks of Amazon as he did on day one, and not as an established and successful company that has been around for over 20 years. These are people who have been extremely successful in the entrepreneurial field, most of them starting from scratch, people who have not been given anything for free. There are basically two types of people in this world. Those who, when faced with a problem, complain and don't really try to solve it, and those who see a problem as a challenge, as a way of challenging themselves and testing new approaches and solutions. Learning how these so-called superior minds operate will help us not only to be part of this second category, but to be successful, with tangible results. If instead of looking at those who have been extremely successful with envy or anger, as people many do, you start studying how these people approach problems and begin to follow their methodologies, in time you will reach a level that you can't even imagine. You will feel like a completely different person. When problems that you considered unsolvable in the past come up again, you will find that you can now solve them, and indeed you can solve even much more complex ones. It is a good feeling to see previously insurmountable problems, both personal and professional, and realize that you now have the tools to overcome them. Let's now look at the difference between a fairly intelligent person and an extremely intelligent one, and we do so by talking about mental models. According to the formal definition, mental models are psychological representations of real, hypothetical, or imaginary situations. In less formal terms, a mental model is a simplified version of some aspect of the world, a schematization of a particular piece of reality. We all unconsciously create models of how the world works, how the economy works, how politics works, how others work, how we work, how our brains work, how our day should go, and so on. The better the model, the better we are able to act, predict, innovate, explain, explore, and communicate. The worse the model, the more we fall prey to costly mistakes. Have you ever been faced with a problem for which you had no idea where to start? The difference between great thinkers and ordinary thinkers is that for the latter, the process of using models is unconscious and reactive. And yes, saying I'm following my instincts is often just a sexy way of saying I have no idea what I'm doing, wish me good luck. For great thinkers, the way to approach problems is deliberate and proactive. All extraordinary people collect the most effective models from all disciplines and apply them creatively to their daily lives. While most people think of knowledge only in a horizontal sense, these great thinkers also think of knowledge in a vertical sense, in terms of depth. It is important to see knowledge as a kind of semantic tree. Make sure you understand the fundamentals, i.e. the trunk and the big branches, before you get to the leaves details, otherwise there is nothing to hold on to. We live in an era of high specialization. Think for instance when you look for a job, Most jobs seem to be all specialized jobs. There seems to be little room for generalists. You want to be a programmer? Learn to program. You want to be an accountant? You focus only on that. Want to be a human resources manager? Delve into that field. But if you go to the next level, you don't. Cultivating excellent knowledge in different fields will allow you to see things and reach levels that those who specialize in only one field will find very difficult to achieve, because they cannot easily see how opportunities in different fields intersect. By understanding for each field its verticality and depth, you can see how learning mental models connect things that were previously separate and disconnected. Just as each leaf of a tree is connected by twigs, which are connected by branches, which are connected by a tree trunk, so too are ideas connected by deeper and deeper ideas. Let's take an example of how, using your knowledge from your studies, your work experience and your passions, you can apply these mental models to create something of your own. But why should we all become collectors of mental models, and how do we build these complex and accurate mental models? I will explain this with a simple example: dogs. Let's imagine for a moment that we have no idea what a dog is. We have never seen or heard of one before. Then, one day, we see an animal that looks like the image on the screen on the left, and someone tells us that it is a dog. Okay, now in theory we know what a dog is. But if we have only seen one dog, we technically do not know what a dog is. With this example alone, our definition of a dog would be a big black and brown animal with pointed ears that sits and sticks out its tongue. If someone then puts a small dog in front of us and we only have this mental model in mind, we are likely to ask, what animal is this? The different types of dog on the right of the screen show us that dogs can come in all different colors, sizes, and shapes. At the same time, we can see the underlying element that they all share. This emerging element is a deeper mental model, and humans have created the word dog to symbolize this mental model. Using this mental model, therefore, it is possible to identify an animal as a dog even if one has never seen a particular breed of dog. What can we learn from this example that is relevant to our lives? Many of the world's problems stem from the overgeneralization of simplistic models, just like our hypothetical unique dog. Here are three main examples. Black-white thinking: you are a good or a bad person, with no gray areas in between. Us-them thinking: people outside your religion, nationality, or belief system are the enemy. All kinds of stereotypes: race, gender, politics, ethnicity, etc. Excessive application of models is no different from a carpenter trying to build a house with just one hammer. All models, however brilliant, are imperfect. The beauty of using multiple, different models is that many of the imperfections cancel each other out, allowing a new emergent model to be created that transcends all other models. And this is the key point of the video: great thinkers, the most intelligent people, improve their thinking by absorbing more information and developing a greater variety of patterns. For example, a novice chess player might only know the name of each piece and how it moves on the board. But a grandmaster has memorized no less than 50,000 pieces, mental models, of increasing complexity, including openings, closings, patterns throughout the game, and how a single move can lead to a particular outcome 10 or more moves later. Many different patterns also lead to more creativity. Nothing is truly original. Everything comes from the combination of existing elements. Children are born when a man and a woman have sex. New tools are created when pre-existing tools have sex with tools. Similarly, we can build more complex mental models by combining simple mental models. For example, by better understanding mental models of cause and effect, we can more effectively prioritize what is important to do now to achieve something we want in the future. The broader our base of mental models, the more creative the combinations we can form. The more unique our mental models are compared to others, the more we can think in ways they cannot even imagine. Through constant and diverse learning, we can organically build better and more varied models of reality. And these models will then help us navigate the world much more effectively and creatively. Just as a blueprint is needed to construct a stable building, mental models of how the world works help us build a better and more stable life. And that's it for today. Hoping you enjoyed the video. I recommend you check out the video The 9 Types of Intelligence, which you can find on this channel. And be sure to subscribe and activate the notification bell so you don't miss future videos. Thanks for listening and have a great day.